On April 5th this year, the Ream Naval Base, which was funded by China and assisted Cambodia in its construction, was officially put into use. In order to highlight the importance of this project, Cambodian Prime Minister Hun Manet personally led a number of senior military and political officials to attend the unveiling ceremony. China also sent a heavyweight PLA delegation to participate in this event. On the surface, the Ream Naval Base project is a win-win cooperation between China and Cambodia, but has made some Western countries highly vigilant. As far as I know, the Ream Naval Base has the conditions to accommodate 10,000-ton main battleships and can even accommodate China's Type 003 Fujian class aircraft carrier. In addition, it is only about 1,000 kilometers away from the Strait of Malacca, and its strategic location is particularly important. Therefore, many Western media quickly hyped that China may obtain special use rights to the Ream Naval Base through relevant agreements, and it may even develop it into a second overseas military base. So, the question is, why is Cambodia willing to let China participate in the construction of the Ream Naval Base? And what strategic value does it have for China? If you like our video content, please click to subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you can receive all our latest video content. Now, let's get into today's topic. Cambodia is located in the southern part of the Indochina Peninsula, bordering Thailand in the northwest, Laos in the northeast, Vietnam in the southeast, and the Gulf of Thailand in the south. This geographical location makes Cambodia an important hub among Southeast Asian countries, especially in terms of maritime transportation and strategy. In order to enhance its presence on the international stage, the Cambodian government, after many internal consultations, finally decided to expand a super military port, and the long-dilapidated Ream Naval Base became the most suitable choice. In fact, when the Cambodian government proposed to build the Ream Naval Base, the United States expressed strong interest for the first time, because since 2010, the Ream Naval Base has been one of the main venues for the Cambodia-U.S. Joint Maritime Readiness and Training exercise. But as time goes by, the facilities of the port have become old, and other functions of the base have gradually degraded, and they are in urgent need of repair and upgrading. By 2019, the United States also proposed a plan to fund the maintenance of the Ream Naval Base. But the Cambodians soon realized that the real intention of the United States was to turn the port into a military facility under their control. In response, Cambodia decisively rejected the U.S. proposal and even dismantled some facilities built by the United States in the Ream Naval Base in 2020. This also sent a signal to foreign countries that they were unwilling to have any maritime military cooperation with the United States. Later, after some weighing and multiple rounds of negotiations, Cambodia turned its attention back to its old friend for many years, China. In 2022, the Chinese ambassador to Cambodia and the Prime Minister of Cambodia jointly signed a relevant cooperation agreement on the Ream Naval Base. Among them, China invested $30 million to help renovate Ream Naval Base, with the goal of modernizing this old port facility and introducing more advanced equipment. In June of the same year, the renovation project of Ream Naval Base was officially launched. According to the plan, the upgraded Ream Naval Base will have two docks, 650 meters and 270 meters long respectively, and will also be equipped with a 5,000-ton dry dock and a 1,000-ton slideway. Such facilities can fully accommodate various naval vessels, including aircraft carriers. In addition, Ream Naval Base will also add a series of large facilities such as dry docks, warehouses, and logistics centers, which makes the cooperation between China and Cambodia in the field of infrastructure construction a more solid step. However, what you may not know is that since China and Cambodia began to cooperate, Ream Naval Base has been criticized. So what happened behind this? In the past 3 years, the Ream Naval Base project has frequently attracted international attention. Some Western media released photos of the Ream Naval Base taken by satellite. They believe that this is an aircraft carrier class dock, and that Chinese naval vessels are stationed here for a long time. So this port base is also seen as an important symbol of China's breakthrough of the Malacca dilemma and strengthening its strategic presence in Southeast Asia. But what is interesting is that within 48 hours after the unveiling of the Ream Naval Base, the Pentagon repeated the old-fashioned words such as China's military expansion for the 8th time. But in the end, China successfully broke the accusation of the secret naval base, carefully woven by the media for 3 years through the transparent co-construction approach. As far as I know, Ream Naval Base is not just for a certain military purpose as the Western media said, but as a joint support and training center, it is helpful to carry out cooperation projects such as anti-terrorism, disaster relief, and humanitarian assistance. In other words, Ream Naval Base is essentially a naval base in Cambodia. The only difference is that it has set up a project to cooperate with the Chinese military here. The Western media often confuse the two. In fact, Cambodia does not rule out setting up similar military cooperation projects with other countries in Ream Naval Base in the future. This is like Djibouti. China, the United States, Russia, Japan, and other countries have their own military bases or support centers in Djibouti, but you can't say that Djibouti is exclusive to a certain country. The same is true for Cambodia. It maintains a balanced diplomacy between major powers and will never completely lean towards any one side militarily. Of course, there are other factors for Cambodia to choose China. We all know that China has always been called the infrastructure maniac, and many large-scale infrastructure construction projects in their country have made amazing progress. Globally, China's extraordinary construction strength and speed are also impressive. From highways, high-speed railways, to bridges and tunnels, China has completed many impressive projects in a short period of time. More importantly, when cooperating with other countries, China usually does not interfere in the internal affairs of other countries. Therefore, despite the pressure of the China threat theory promoted by Western media, Cambodia did not believe it, but always insisted on cooperating with China. Finally, in April 2025, the Ream Naval Base was officially launched. On the same day, Cambodia's Prime Minister, Manet, also led a number of senior military and political officials to attend the unveiling ceremony, among which the Chinese People's Liberation Army delegation participated in the event. So do you know what Ream Naval Base means to Cambodia? As a deep-water port, the Ream Naval Base, after its opening, could dock 10,000-ton ships, including medium-sized ships such as the 056A frigate and the 071 landing ship, and may even accommodate aircraft carriers in the future. This makes it an important hub connecting the Pacific and Indian Oceans, further promoting Cambodia's development in maritime trade and logistics. As I mentioned before, with the construction and upgrading of the Ream Naval Base, tens of millions of dollars of investment have expanded and improved the port's docks and training facilities. The improvement of these infrastructures has directly enhanced Cambodia's maritime transportation capabilities and greatly promoted the modernization of the Cambodian military through joint training. For example, in 2024, the Ream Naval Base has trained a total of 2,000 Cambodian soldiers, further enhancing Cambodia's defense capabilities. In addition, the Cambodian Prime Minister also stated in public that the Ream Naval Base welcomes warships from all friendly countries to dock, which undoubtedly further enhances Cambodia's cooperation potential on the international stage. But as a participant in the project, China will also gain more significant strategic value from it. In the past few years, the United States has been restricting China on the issue of the Strait of Malacca. In 2023, Iran earned $53 billion from crude oil trade, and this figure is expected to grow to $54 billion in 2024, most of which came from trade with China, accounting for as much as 80% to 90%. Iran relies on exporting oil to China to obtain foreign exchange income, while China obtains important energy supplies through this channel. In order to cut off trade between the two, senior U.S. officials are considering the possibility of blocking the Strait of Malacca. Some people familiar with the matter revealed that the Trump administration had planned to conduct forced inspections of passing ships through the navies of allied countries and the U.S. Navy near the Strait of Malacca, and once crude oil ships from Iran were found, they would be seized or repatriated. As the world's most important trade waterway, the Strait of Malacca relies on shipping for more than 90% of China's foreign trade, and most of it must pass through the Strait of Malacca. If the United States blocks this waterway, it will mean that China's economic lifeline will be greatly threatened, especially the import of oil and natural gas. In March of this year, the Trump administration proposed a new plan. Under the name of the Proliferation Security Initiative, they began to take new actions against China's energy supply chain. But obviously, China is fully prepared to deal with the Malacca dilemma. As we mentioned earlier, the Ream Naval Base is adjacent to the Gulf of Thailand and is only a stone's throw away from the key shipping lanes in the South China Sea. The South China Sea carries about 1/3 of the world's maritime trade volume and is also the core channel for China to import oil and natural gas. However, this sea area has long been controversial, and neighboring countries have differences with China on sovereignty issues. Coupled with the frequent activities of the U.S. Navy, the security situation in the region is often tense. Therefore, China agreed to assist Cambodia in building the Ream Naval Base, which can provide strong support for the Chinese Navy to enter the South China Sea and add important insurance to ensure the maritime lifeline. In contrast, this port is only about 1,000 kilometers away from the Strait of Malacca and less than 1,000 kilometers away from China's Nansha Islands. Going to the Strait of Malacca from the Ream Naval Base saves about 2,000 kilometers of voyage compared to departing from Hainan, China. In addition, the Ream Naval Base can provide midway supplies for 85% of China's oil imports, helping it reduce its dependence on the Strait of Malacca. Although the Chinese Navy will not be stationed at the Ream Naval Base for a long time, they can still stop here for a short time and carry out material supplies. This arrangement, on the one hand, expands the radius of action of the Chinese Navy and at the same time enhances China's geopolitical influence in the region. In other words, if an emergency breaks out in the South China Sea, the Taiwan Strait, or the Strait of Malacca in the future, China will be able to respond faster. This is undoubtedly an undesirable situation for the United States. In fact, China's layout in Cambodia is more than that. Just in August 2024, China also invested in a super canal project worth up to $1.7 billion and held a grand groundbreaking ceremony in Cambodia's Canal Province. This project is called the Chong Funan Canal, which is an artificial waterway running through the north and south. It starts from Pre Koan Bell, southeast of the capital Phnom Penh, passing through Kandal, Takeo, Kampot, and Kep, and finally leads to Kep Port to the sea. The entire project is planned to take 4 years and is expected to be completed in 2028. From now on, once the canal is completed, it will completely change Cambodia's foreign trade pattern. It will help Cambodia directly transport goods to the global market and get rid of its current high dependence on Vietnamese ports currently. About 1/3 of Cambodia's imports and exports need to be transported through Vietnamese ports. From China's perspective, this canal will undoubtedly become a strategic channel, which will not only speed up the transportation of Chinese products to Vietnam and other Indochina countries, but also further tighten economic ties with regional countries and open a more convenient sea and land channel for China in regional logistics and strategic layout. To not miss out on our future projects and news updates, please make sure you subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications. We will continue to provide you with more exciting and interesting content.